Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hurt, Heal, Evolve in Jesus' name. Thank you for joining today. Today I have a panel with me. We're going to be talking about being single and saved, and I thought it necessary to have this conversation because the conversation is not really talked about. It's not really had in church, and there's kind of like a stigma, just in case you didn't know, a stigma related to being single and saved. There's like a time clock clicking. Everybody expects you to go ahead and, partner up with somebody because it's a good look. So we're going to talk about what it looks like to be in that single stage, what we're supposed to be doing in that single stage, what it looks like, and all things single. So thank you for joining, and I have my beautiful panel with me. My ladies are here. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Grateful to be back.
Yes,
likewise. Yes.
So y'all ready to get into this conversation?
Yes. Sweet lamb.
All right, we're gonna start it off. We're gonna start it off. We're gonna be very as transparent as possible, and anything you do not feel comfortable answering, you don't have to. Just say move on or NA or whatever you want to say. So we're gonna start off like this. First, let's tell everybody your name. So we're gonna start on this side, and we're gonna go all the way around, and then we're gonna get started.
Okay, my name is Leila, Renee.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everyone, I'm Laurendia.
Okay.
And I'm Brittnay Peters.
Okay, and we're church girls. So what I'm gonna do different too, I'm gonna have you say what church you go to, just to put it out there. So rep your church. Rep your church.
I go to the Potter's House, Dallas.
Okay.
Grace Cathedral Church of God in Christ.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. And the Chosen Vessel Church in Fort Worth, Texas.
All right. So let's get into this conversation. So the first question is going to be kind of abrupt.
Guys.
Okay. And we're going to start with Laurendia.
Smart.
So Laurendia,
I'm ready.
why are you single?
I believe the Lord is preparing me. So I'm in a preparation season, and I feel good about it. I'm grateful for the fact that God is still working things out for me and working things out for my partner, so that when we finally align, it is more healed, more whole, and it's better for us. So listen, he has yet to finish my story, so that's why I'm single.
All right. Miss Leila.
Well, ditto everything she said, but just to add to it, single by choice right now. Currently, pursuing purpose and just embracing the season of solitude, enjoying just being with myself and God. Not trying to be too deep, but I've been enjoying this space because a lot of times, we can be so caught up in the culture that society is trying to put on people, like everyone is paired up, this, that, and other. And yes, that is something that I desire, but at the same time, there is a beauty in being single, a beautiness in being single. So, yeah.
Okay. Miss Brittnay.
Well, ditto what they're saying. I choose to be single, one, because God is preparing my person. But while he's preparing my person, he's also preparing me. You have to, or I had to, date myself, date God, get to know what I like about me, what I love about me, so that when he comes, I can show you how to treat me.
Absolutely.
So I'm enjoying the beautiness.
Beautiful answers, and I can say the same. Ditto to all. For me, this is probably going to be a shock, but I'm not actually, not to say that you guys are, but I'm not looking. I'm not actively wanting, respectfully, Lord, I'm not actively wanting to be sought at the time, because I think pretty much the same thing you said. I'm pursuing what God needs me to do. And during this season, if someone comes along, someone comes along. If someone doesn't,
so you lack the
someone
desire
doesn't.
right now.
I don't have a
So you have
desire.
contentment without desire right now.
Okay, just read me. Read me.
Okay, she said, we and you are fine, God, but wanting someone else, we're not there yet.
And the reason why is because I think we all can agree that past relationships, no matter what happened in those past relationships, it makes you kind of trepidatious. And it also makes you kind of guarded. So I know when I made my decisions to be with who I chose to be with in the past, God was not in the equation. So I want to segue into that. I didn't consider God in any decision that I made, even when I was saved. And when I was unsaved, yeah, I went to church, but it wasn't a thought to include God in the finding the characteristics of a man. So my next question is, how important do you think considering God, putting God in these decisions that you make to find your mate? Because I know I didn't before. So we can start with Brittnay.
We're going to start with Brittnay. Honestly, it's very important. You have to, and this is one thing, so I'll go back to you, like, I have my days where I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And then I have my days where I'm like, I'm enjoying me, right? But it's very important to have Jesus at the center of everything.
Right.
Without consulting, it's just like, he's our father, and you consult with your father or your mother. So it's just like, I need to make sure everything I do, it is pleasing to my father, because I've done it without him, like you. And I hate retaking tests. I hate going through those things. And it's like, you don't go through that same trial.
Yeah.
You go through it 10 times harder. So I'm just like, at this point, God, you know, if you want me to be single right now, I am going to do what you want me to do. And saying yes is not easy, but I literally am at the point to where I've learned when I do it on my own, everything backfires on me. And I'm such a crybaby, so I'm crying about everything. So now I'm just like, okay, God, I can't fix it. I am such a fixer, and now it's like a whirlwind. It's just like God has got everything to where I can't fix it. So now I'm just like, okay, God. I am single, and I'm going to wait on you to do this. And it's not easy because age-wise, and I'm sure we'll get there, that time clock, sometime it gets to you, and it's just like, right, Jesus, I see everybody else, and what are we doing? So he's honestly told me, sit still. And I'm just like, how long do I sit? But that's
that waiting period. What does it look like? Leila, how important do you think it is to have God in the decision making this time around?
It's very important. Growing up in the church, especially with like the Kojic background that I have, you know, you're taught different things, you know, you're groomed in certain ways, whatever. So I had to do a lot of unlearning to relearn about a lot of things when it came to dating and things of that nature, because the decisions I made in my past relationships, I thought God was in it. I prayed to God and, you know, asked him to lead and guide me and everything. But, you know, I didn't realize that the prayers I was praying, it was like I was forcing it to be his will. And so I had to learn what it really looked like to allow God's perfect will to take over. And when God's perfect will when his perfect will takes over, it's not to say that you're not going to have challenges, but I'm a witness, things are more smooth, less chaotic. You just relinquish control. You learn how to relinquish control to God.
The big C.
Absolutely. And so, it's
real.
very important, and it teaches you discipline. It teaches you surrender. It teaches you how to be obedient, because let's be honest, if we are desiring to be wives in the future, you know, how can we follow the man that God has for us if we can't follow him? So we have to be mentally, spiritually, emotionally prepared. And it's not to say that you're going to, you know, have everything all together all the time. But as long as we have that willing heart to put God at the center of everything, like he'll bless that.
He'll work it out. Laurendia, how important do you think it is?
Honestly, I find it to be extremely important. I learned this over time because I wasn't always saved. I got saved when I was 19. So I definitely went, a good amount of time with a certain amount of logic that I went with things. So God had a lot of correcting to do by the time I was 19. And it's funny enough, God knew how to save me. So one thing about me, I've always, you know, had a crush or liked a guy or was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, like, okay, what's going on? Like, I just like to flirt. It's not like I like to do anything, but I was like, okay. So God knew how to get me. So my first relationship was actually the moment I got saved because of the relationship that I was actually in. So that was the first time me getting to know God and getting to know somebody who already knew God. So that was an interesting cross. But what I find through all that, we'll get into the details later, is that out of everything I've seen growing up on TV or from relationships with people, God writes the best love story, guys. And I, at this point in my life, have realized I don't want to cheat myself out of that. Like, why would I not give God the opportunity to give me the best love story of my life? Because I've tried to write my own and it didn't work out.
Right.
So, you know, like, and we read the Bible and we see so many instances where God will align these two people and the glory that comes out of it later. You're like, we're still talking about what he did in your life. I love that. And you did it for them. You've done it for a lot of your children. Like, when I hear about two kingdom children coming together, it's beautiful. It's always something like, wow, only God could really do that, you know? So I want that for me. I want to allow God to write the best love story possible. So it's important to me that he's
involved.
Everything. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think was the biggest mistake that you made in your last, not the person? Because I know us women, we tend to say, oh, the relationship didn't work because he. What can you honestly say was something that you did that you can actually take accountability for and the reason why that relationship didn't work?
You know what? I'll say this.
No, you can't answer. You
I
just
can't
stop
answer?
talking. Not right now. Not right now. We're going to go with Leila. We're going to wrap back around to you.
That's a good question, because I've learned so many lessons in my last relationship. Well, number one, I allowed myself to be diminished.
Okay.
I allowed myself to get to a place where, you know, lack of confidence took over. I was solely dependent on the person and not God. I didn't maintain my individuality. So it was a lot of self-sabotaging that I did, all for the purpose of trying to save that relationship.
Okay.
And it wasn't just a relationship, I was previously married. So, you know, thinking in my mind as well, like, I don't want to get a divorce, you know, things of that nature. And so I had a lot of different things to consider during that time, but, you know, I had to choose me. And I'm not going to get into much details about that, but just that's one area that, you know, I felt like I should have did better in. If I would have maintained my confidence, my individuality, and
that's big right there.
And everything that would have honestly like helped me in a lot of ways in that relationship for sure.
Okay, Brittnay.
I want to start off by saying I'm a very secretive person. So most relationships, people didn't even know.
Okay.
Right? And so I'm here now, and I'm sure people be like, she what? But for me, I wasn't bold.
Okay.
Right? I would be like, okay, whatever
Passive.
you want. Yeah. And I didn't speak up. And so for me, I was a step stool because I didn't speak up.
Yeah.
So you got to learn to speak up.
Yeah.
You got to learn to be bold.
It's huge.
You got to be confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. Laurendia.
Listen, no. The turn. You know what? For me, I was very prideful. Like, and, you know, like I said, the relationship I had when I was saved, I'm literally getting saved during this process. So I'm still coming from, I grew up in Boston, my parents are from the Caribbean, we're Haitian, very prideful people because, we had to fight for our freedom, and just so much was like, I'm so used to like my mom not backing down to things, so many things like we're not backing. And I came with a bullheaded, very strong, not willing to, want to bend or break because clearly the way I know is the only way. I definitely thought that way. And so, I was really prideful. I was very, stubborn. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely has taken God a few times to get me to understand something. So you can only imagine another human being. You're like, you know what I mean? So I was, and I was a runner. So, So if, we're knocking heads and it's not, I'm like, that's okay. I don't want to speak. I'll detach, and that's not good. You can't run. Yeah.
I was controlling. So I'm used to, we were talking a little bit before the show and saying how we're fixers. And I think fixing and controlling, I think it's all in the same family. It's like if I didn't have a part in it, and this can be just specifically his life. If I did not control aspects of things that were going on, it just wasn't working for me. So letting go of control, and that's something professionally, relationally, that God is still working with me on, because losing control is a fear, because there was a time where I didn't have it.
The fear of the unknown.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
that's so good.
Yeah.
it's that part.
Yeah.
And then when you learn, when you experience something, it's like, I'm not going to repeat this. So in this situation, I did not have control. So I will be doggone if I get into this relationship and repeat the same pattern.
Yeah.
But it was detrimental. It can be detrimental to the relationship. So,
and it's crazy because you have good intentions,
absolutely,
you feel. So it's
absolutely. It's not manipulative control or, any type of control that's going to harm the person. It's just, I think it's best we do it this way. Yeah, and I need to know every step, and that can be a little hard.
But that's definitely a part of who we are, our nature. Like women, we want to be in control. And to lay it down.
Yeah, and I only want to be in control of certain things. Don't get it twisted.
I was gonna say
Certain things. Yes, but
Yeah.
we want you to know that we care. We this is how it should be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in control of the bills and all that kind of thing, but
I want to be included, but I don't want to be in control.
but not in control.
Yeah.
But that's a part of our human nature as women.
Yeah.
We came into this world, I know they say men are strong, but I feel like women are stronger. And so that's a part of us, like we don't want to lose that control. And to lay it down, for my situation, I kind of laid it down and I became like that step stool. And it's just like, girl, what?
Yeah.
Get it together. And so you gotta like balance that control.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Okay, so in this climate, so is everybody open to meeting someone at this time? Like, are you actively, like, you ready? If he comes,
Oh, okay.
if he comes and the Lord give the green light, yeah.
That one.
But the
Laurendia?
moment the
Yeah.
see listed, because my discernment is like, I'll peep you 5 miles away.
and so that's where I was going with that.
I'll be like, no.
Discernment.
Because like with that, because of like my experiences, and I'm not in the business of my time being wasted.
Yeah.
I'm all
Yeah.
about intentionality.
Listen.
Like I'm always asking God, like the moment someone introduced themselves to me,
Immediately.
I always say, oh, nice to meet you. Okay, yeah, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
I go immediately to God.
To that prayer.
And I'm like, Lord, who is this person? Did you send them? What is the purpose of their connection? Are they supposed to be a friend, an associate, a business partner, ministry partner? Or is this someone that you have for me beyond that?
That's good.
And I asked the Lord to give me confirmation. And when I tell you, every time I pray that prayer, it's like he sends me confirmation immediately, just about. Like, I've never waited no week or anything like that in my experience. And so doing that allows me to compartmentalize people too. Because a lot of times we can give people access all willy-nilly. And that's why, it's, going back to your first question, it's important to have God in the center when it comes to this whole thing with dating and everything, because he will lead and guide you. In Proverbs 3, it says, in all thy ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. That's in every single step. And for some people, they're like, oh, they might say, oh, you're doing too much. Like, no, I need God. I need his wisdom, because like we've all shared in times past, I've tried it on my own. I thought I had it figured out, but no, because I want it right this time, I'm going to pray to God every single step of the way. I'm going to ask him and consult him. And if I don't feel right in my spirit, if he doesn't confirm with me and it's clear,
So what does that look like, though? Because realistically speaking, I'm going to give you a scenario. So let's just say, okay, because we all go to church. So let's just say, let's just say we're at church or a supermarket. We can say supermarket, grocery store. Okay, all right, because that's where we're familiar.
Right, we're saved.
So let's say in church, we're in church. Someone approaches you, because we're all talking about discernment and knowing and hearing. Because for me, it's hard to even get my phone number. So how do you transition from someone walking up to you, introducing themselves, hey, blah, 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 can I get your phone number? Can we talk?
I turn them to my Instagram. Go follow me.
Ditto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Support my music.
And you too?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
even worse than
seriously.
y'all. I am, so you might be surprised at this, but for me, am definitely more shy and a little more reluctant when it comes to that whole thing. Like, if I see you in church, I'm gonna be like, well, I'll see you around. He wouldn't get my number that day. And then at that moment, I will then open thine eyes to you, and I will pray about it. And I will, ask God for clarity. And I know that what's meant for me will find me. So me turning him away in this moment for me to get clarity from God, he will bring back around. And so, and I've had that happen. I pray about it and I see that person again, and you know what I mean? Like, and then it's like, okay. But still, God will get rid of that person quick if you pray that prayer.
Yeah.
So, I prayed that prayer and God got rid of that person. So, you know what I mean? But that person went hard for a few months. Good Lord. So that some people
Are
are
you talking about
persistent.
somebody specific?
I've been through a scenario where this happened to me. I don't like, I'm not gonna say I don't like for guys to come up to me at church. I'm just saying I like intentionality. So yeah, this person was intentional for a little while, but it still was like, I was like, no. And I wish I would have kept on that no, because I don't let someone wear you down if God doesn't say yes. So that's something that, I had to learn, like, just because someone's persistent doesn't mean that's still for you.
And
So-
especially persistent in
Come
the
on,
church.
no,
because
that's what I'm
where we
saying.
meet.
Yeah.
So how do we, what's the measuring stick? What measuring stick do we use? Because we go to church every Sunday, and we might see this person every Sunday, and they're actively pursuing. So are you saying you wait it out, you go home and pray on it, and wait till God moves you?
God
Time
will
reveals all.
reveal, and honestly, I'm gonna go scripture. He will show you. You will know them by their fruits. Listen, and don't you listen when he talks about false prophets. Oh, this can go right in this realm, honey. People promising you a life that you will never have with them. Oh, we can do this. I'm gonna do that for you. What are you telling me about the future that is not gonna happen? So you're trying to make me believe this will be like this with you, when in reality it's really not. So it's just like, I don't want to be sold a dream. You know what I mean? Like, God is very intentional, and he's already told me about parts of my life already. So I'm going to know you by your fruits, the love, the joy, the peace. There's things that you're going to be able to see. And I believe if we stick to that, you'll be able to wean people out really easy, because you'll be able to know, like, they don't have patience. You know what I mean? Because if you're getting annoyed that I'm like turning you away, you don't, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, there's just things, self-control. That's why I'm like, if I'm telling you, I'll see you again, and you're like, you're not for red flags. It's not going to work.
So let me say this. Let me ask this. Are there red flags, yellow flags, and green flags?
There's red, yellow,
Orange.
orange, green, purple. Okay,
They're flags. They're flags.
we're seeing Skittles.
At this point.
Right.
They're flags. And because we're all in church, that's like the hardest place. Now, I'll be honest, my prayer is, God, he's got to be in church. And I know this sounds sad, but he's got to be COGIC, because that's what I am. And we know what our life is like being Kojic. So if you're something else, you won't understand. What you mean? You went to church at 8 o'clock, then 10, and then this, or you have this, whatever. But those guys in church, I'm sorry, I know it's like they think they're consistent, but it's just not. And then you're mad because I don't want to talk to you, or I send you over to Instagram where my page is like open. Go over there and look, you know. I've had one guy who
All right, one. She said one.
we'll go with the one. Like it was everything. Like he wanted to, well, let's pen pal. I think that's cute to me. I don't mind that. But
pen pal?
yeah, but I wouldn't do it. You know, he was like, well, I want your number. I like handwritten letters. I just do. I still have birthday cards from a little girl, so I like that kind of stuff. But then he got to getting mad, like, girl, I can take care of you. And this is why I don't want you, because if you have to tell me what you can do and you're getting mad while saying, well, I can buy this.
Talk is
that
cheap.
part, talk is so
Actually,
cheap.
show.
And I'll be honest with you, every guy that has come up to me, it's always been about money or, right?
Because you look like money, though.
Right.
And so they think they're talking your language. Okay.
Right.
Well, you don't have to come to me trying to sell me a dream. I can take care of you. I'll buy you this. I'll buy you that. Those things are good. It really is. But that won't last always. Look at the economy right now. We don't know what may happen. Anything can crash. So coming to me to talk about money, like I can buy you this, I can buy you that. Can you pray? Let's just start there first.
Can you cover me?
Because I'm assuming when we get into these relationships, we're going to be courting and not dating, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
We'll
that's
collect
is that
data, you know, but when it's actually time, yes, it's gonna be intentional.
Yeah.
Right. Deal, holy deal.
right? Because how do we feel about dating? Because you know, dating has a negative connotation, so everyone has their different definition
It's
of what that
based on
is.
everyone's perception. And of course, like, again, being intentional for me, I can only speak for me, like being intentional because where I am at right now is like, I don't have the energy to date. Like,
And is it fair?
But I'll
Is it
get
fair?
I'll get to know a person and collect data in that way, and when it comes to like moving forward beyond that, I'm not making a move until like God.
God says.
Yes.
We
So
can
I
do
think
this.
this is a
that may
good.
be deep for some people, but that's
This is
where I'm
good.
at.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
And I think this is a good segue to go into, because we had this conversation when God first laid this whole situation in my heart. So 2 years ago, we started off in actually our rooms. We were on Zoom, and we started off as a podcast, and we actually had this conversation. We had a couple on there that was married a year. We had another couple that was married for 17 years, and then we had 3 singles. So we're gonna roll to this clip really quick, because one part I enjoyed was Joseph Gray broke down the 3 stages and how intentional he was in finding his wife. So it's about a 2-minute clip that we're gonna roll to right now, and then we're gonna come back and talk about it for a second.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. So there were actually 3 specific stages that we went through. We called the discovery zone, when we get to discover who each other was. That's when you don't really know each other. But since we were in college, we were already in the second stage, which was the friend zone. And then the third stage will be the intentional zone. And so since we already had established a friendship, our not dating, but our courting stage was very intentional. So as a friend, I told her, as my friend, you know, I had intentions and her. And then so once I made that clear to her, I was like, okay, so we're in the friend zone now. But if we go to the intentional zone, my intentions is to marry you. So before we even cross that wall, I've made it clear to her what my expectations was. What I don't call it dating, because dating to me had too many negative connotations to it that I didn't want to be associated with. But my courtship with her, I made it intentional. Once we crossed this wall, that I have a specific plan. I had a 5-year plan that I had laid out. I told her I don't do the whole hugging the boyfriend and girlfriend stuff. I just was very, very straightforward. I told her even before we even officialized our courtship that I wanted to meet with her father, just to make sure that both families was on the same page. And so our courtship was only 4 months, and we had even until we got engaged. So we got engaged. We had our courtship in March of last year, was it? A year before last. Then 4 months later, in July, I proposed to her. So the courtship was basically just about setting the foundation on making sure that we're on the same page on what an engagement and a marriage would look like. Because we already had, on the friendship zone, I'd established trust, respect, honor, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's just a matter of making my intentions clear as we crossed the wall over into the intentional zone, which was synonymous with the courtship. This is what we're doing. This is what it's looked like. Can you get with this program? Yes or no. And then we were already friends. We were able to move on to the engagement. So it was very streamlined.
That was a lot. And I can honestly say that plan at his age, they were in their 30s. I think they were 32 and 33 at that time. People don't have it together like that, where they actually have phases that they intentionally go into finding their mate. We just looking at, oh, he cute. Oh, she's nice looking. I mean, that's the first thing you see, but I don't think we go into it now that we know. We probably do. But how do you feel about going into it with stages? Actual stages where you have a plan. Listen, if I give you my phone number, of course you don't know if you're going to, some people say I knew as soon as I seen them. So I knew as soon as I seen her. But those stages, do you think it's important to go into it like that with the plan? He had a 5-year plan, he said.
That worked for them.
Right.
I mean, so what I don't want to get caught up in, because it's real easy for a lot of people to do this, like, because something worked for someone else, then we get caught up in like, oh, well, that's how I want it done. I need it like that, So I love the intentionality. I love the idea of the phases and things of that nature. But at the same time, I'm remaining open to whatever God wants to do for me in that space and how he wants to produce that aspect in my life, if that makes sense. So
Makes sense.
including all the intentionality, but however the intention is going to be, I'm open with that.
What about you?
You want to know what's funny? That was 2 years ago. Funny enough, when he said it at the time, I do believe it was the first time I ever heard someone explain it like that. And now I can honestly say I understand where he was coming from. And I do believe that there's something when a man has a vision to, you know what I mean? I feel like it makes all the difference because Kayla could have been as ready as she wanted to be, but because he was clear and he had a vision and he had already spoken to God, follow. She was able to go right into it. So it wasn't so much that she had to do anything or had to show him anything. She just had to be herself. Because the discovery phase, they were able to discover, okay, you know what? Yeah, this is good. And then after that, build that friendship so that therefore they have a good foundation. Like these are all things, however, to your point.
I didn't even think about that
in that
aspect. In that aspect, yes, vision-wise, yes, vision,
and to your point, not to say it has to be exactly what he said, because if you're giving God room to make it how it's going to work for you in your life, because only God knows, the day-to-day, but the outline of that vision, intention and the vision and the man already like knowing like, okay, I'm talking to God and this is what I'm going to do. That is going to make the difference. That's all I was like, God is working on us. We're going to come healed. We're going to come whole in that way. But because God will allow us to see this person, see their fruits, become friends, then now we can actually have something. And it sounds crazy. I think I would have thought this was crazy, but now I can see how someone can be friends and then be engaged.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, I see it because it's just like, I love your character, who you are,
you already got to know
your spirit.
Them.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's why it doesn't take long.
And if you come at me like how come on here, leadership. That's a leader, and it takes the pressure off me because I'm used to
feminine.
And now you just
changes your whole demeanor. You're like, oh, so that's what we're doing.
You don't have to,
Right. For me, I like it. I like it because he's taking control.
Right.
We can be feminine. I can be a little soft, little feminine. But there is a flip side. If I would have heard that. a few years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Because once a guy, for me, ladies, come up and he's like, can I have your number or blah, blah, blah. They're like, we're already married.
It
I'm
turns
like,
left.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why
It's
I
too
said-
much.
That's why I
You're like,
said-
hold
I'm like,
on.
this is too much.
Hold
I
on.
just get, you know.
And then they're telling other people like, oh yeah, that's I talked to her. What?
What?
We don't talk at all.
At all.
it's
Like
too-
it's been less than 24 hours, and I mean, you just
And
got
I'm already
access
a wife,
to me.
already got kids.
Right.
Like,
So that bothers me. But to his point, I can see it. I'm open to it now at this age, because at this age, whoever comes to me is probably going to be a bigger age than I am, and he should already have it a little bit together, just a little bit. Now, I'm not saying he has to be perfect, because am I perfect? I'm not perfect, but I can agree to have that plan to discover, to be intentional. I like that. I like that.
So, in this waiting stage that we're in, what are we asking God to work on in us to prepare us for that man? Let y'all think about it for a second.
do we have enough time to think?
Well, I mean, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Because only
It was
you know
jealousy
you.
for me, and
Okay.
that's crazy. But the more I think about it, I'm like, I want the person who's for me to be for me. And you know, the funny thing is, God got me with this, because He's like,
20
you want somebody
seconds or less.
kind, but remember, someone kind is loving. So you have to be okay with someone loving on other people outside of you. And I want to check that, because I don't ever want my spirit to mess up what God is doing, because He's using my husband. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to check my jealousy, my jealous spirit. I don't want it to go in with me.
Come on here, transparency. All right.
For
Leila?
me, I will say trusting,
Yeah, trust.
being able to trust again. So
Yeah.
I'll leave it
I
at
don't know,
that.
that's almost a
Because
teardrop.
I'm
I
not
know.
gonna
Yeah.
not gonna go deep in that, because we will have tissues.
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. So yeah.
Because mine is the same.
Don't you touch my head.
Yeah, I'm getting emotional. 'Cause that's true. You go through a lot,
Yeah.
and you lose trust. And so my thing is putting all my trust in God, because I
Yeah.
know
That's the one.
who
Man
He
will
has
fail.
for me is going to be perfect for me.
glory
So
to
I do not believe whoever He sends,
Right.
whoever He sends, because he didn't send those other people. So whoever God sends for me, they're going to have the attributes, they're going to have those
Yes.
characteristics that God knows that I need.
Yeah.
So
Need and want.
Want.
yeah,
He's
that part.
just to give us what we need and want. I'm sorry.
That part. No. Yeah, go ahead, girl, because these tissues is saying Tijuana.
For me, I think it would be to release, right? I know we talked backstage, and I was like, well, I'm going through, you know, this and that. And so to be a little bit more open, because I am guarded just because of some things that's happened, to be open, to be vulnerable, to love, and not, because we're going to have to come back when I say this, and not have a fear of rejection.
Say less. I already know where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
Say less.
Oh, that's it.
This is so good.
That's it.
We're coming back for part 2. We
We're
don't care.
definitely coming back from part 2, and part 3, and part 4, and part 5.
Right.
Until we all have rings on it.
Right.
Amen.
2020.
Oh.
Now, that would be
2026.
a
Watch
great
out.
episode.
Watch out. Yeah, for sure. For
Because
sure.
God writes the best love stories.
Yes.
Clarence.
He does. All right, that's all we have. That's all we have. Thank you for joining us. You will see us back again. To all the single ladies, listen, it's not a bad time right now. It's your time to get closer to God. He sees you, He knows your heart, and He knows what you need. So just wait on God. That's it for Hurt, Heal, Evolve today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.